Hello, welcome to BirdTalk. This talk is sponsored by the International Fellowship of Birdwatching Rotarians, IFBR for short, which is an international association of Rotary members who enjoy birding. It was started in 1992. In this talk today, you'll hear from Dr. Nilutpal Mahantha. He will talk about the vast avian diversity of Northeast India and extend that into seeing how bird watching can save birds. In his talk, he will introduce you to the birds of Eastern Himalayas. He will talk about the biodiversity of this region that extends from the eastern foothills of the Himalayas into the Indo-Mynamar region, which hosts an extraordinary richness of bird life with over 800 recorded species. In addition to talking about the birds of this area, we will also talk about how birdwatching fosters awareness, builds local stewardship, supports citizen science, and creates ecotourism opportunities that benefit both people and birds. We can attest to that from the IFBR because we were recent guests to his area of the world, and he took us on an excellent tour of Eagle Nest in the eastern foothills of the Himalayas for a week, where we saw in excess of 200 species of birds in about a week. Dr. Mahantha is a wildlife biologist and environmental consultant with over 10 years of experience in biodiversity research, ornithology, and ecological monitoring in Northeast India. He holds a PhD in zoology from Gauhati University. For his doctoral work, his focus was on the ecology of swamp francolin, a threatened grassland bird. Dr. Mahantha has previously served as a senior project officer in World Wildlife Fund India's raptor conservation program, where he worked extensively on vulture monitoring, satellite tagging, and community-based conservation initiatives. These are only a few of his interests. You'll hear about more during his talk.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you, and a warm good evening to everyone who is joining us from India, and a warm welcome everyone for to this session. And I'm really grateful and thankful to Krishna and IBR team for giving me this opportunity to showcase what we have in Northeast India and why we should actually be visiting Northeast India to experience the diverse avian fauna of this region. And saying about the diversity of the birds, so what my idea was to share with you all is not only the species, what are the species that are found in the area, but why northeastern part of India is so diverse in terms of avian fauna. I can see many familiar faces here, Krishna, Eva, Julie, and John. So I know they know what is Northeast India and where is Northeast India, but for others who have never been to Northeast India, so for you all, so just I would like to give you a glimpse of what is Northeast India. So Northeast India is a geographically and culturally distinct region located in the far eastern part of the Indian subcontinent. So as you can see in the video over here, you can see Northeast India is basically an area which is combination of hills, plains, rivers, mountains. So basically, we share international borders with several countries like China, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. And we have a diversified habitats like from snow-capped mountains to tropical rainforest and flat plains. So, like this makes the northeastern India part of India, northeastern part of India, basically very diverse area. And as we have this diversity of habitats, diversity of landscapes, we also have two biodiversity hotspots. So basically, there's a very few areas where two biodiversity hotspots basically conjugates with one another. So the one is Eastern Himalayas that is there on the towards the north, and we have the Indo-Burma, which is towards the southern part of northeastern India. So So what is the avian diversity of northeastern India? So I just wanted to give you a glimpse of the avian diversity of northeast India. So northeast India harbors roughly around 900 to 950 species of birds. So basically that is around 70% of what we get in India. So basically if you are planning a visit or a birdwatching tour to India, so if you visit northeast India, you get a chance to see 70% of all the species found in India. And also we have the zone of high dynamic, so highly endemic birds here. So basically around 25 endemic species of birds are found here out of 72 endemic species found in India. That is around 30% of all the endemic birds found in India. You can get to see them in Northeast India. And interestingly, after independence, after 1947, when India got independence, so the first bird that was discovered in independent India was from Arunachal Pradesh, that is in Indian state, northeastern, located in the northeastern region of India. So the bird is called the Bugun Leochikla, which was named after the local community, local tribe called the Bugun tribe. So basically, Bugun Leochikla is one of the most fascinating birds in India. So people come here to the northeastern part of India to see Bugun Leochikla from far distances. And their numbers are quite low. That's why they are also elusive birds. You know, like in northeastern India, we have a place called Nagaland. So in Nagaland, there's a reservoir called Doyang Reservoir. So in that reservoir is known to be the world's highest aggregation of Amu falcons. So when Amu falcons migrate towards all the way to southern Africa, so basically they migrate through northeastern India. And it is being said that in northeast India has the highest aggregation of Amu falcons during their migration. And Assam, a state of northeastern India, it has been ranked third in great backyard bird count after West Bengal and Uttarakhand, which are also states of India. So basically, we rank in top two, three positions in entire India. Okay, so going back to the slide, okay, you can see this beautiful bird over here. This is the Bugun Leochikla I'm talking about. See the colors. So it's such a beautiful bird, which was away from ornithologists, which ornithologists could not find this beautiful bird even in the dense forest of Arunachal Pradesh. So this bird was just discovered in 2006. So we have a unique geography. That is the reason why we have high avian diversity. So the unique diversity means that the diversified landscapes. So you can see here, I'm giving two pictures for a comparison. So both these photographs that you are seeing here, they showcase a waterfall. But this waterfalls, one is from the Himalayan belt and one is from the Indo-Burma area. So you can see this Himalayan area. So basically, these mountains are sharp upright, but here the mountains are flat like plateaus. So basically, that means that this Himalayan mountains are quite new, and these flat mountains are very old related to the Himalayas. So that is why species diversity is different in Himalayas and also in the southern part, that's the Indo-Burma. So basically, we have conjugation of these two diverse landscapes and these biodiversity hotspots. So here you can see these two diversity hotspots. So this dark brown areas, the Himalayas or the Eastern Himalayas, and the southern part that's called the Indo-Burma. So you can see these two regions. So if you look at very few parts in India in the world has such areas where two biodiversity hotspots coincides with one another. So that's one of the example, and we are here in this area. So again, after discussing about biodiversity hotspots, even when we look at the biogeographic realms of the world, there are 8 biogeographic realms in the world. So there are 2 biogeographic realms that is found in Northeast India. There is the Palearctic realm and towards the north, and the Indo-Malayan realm on the south. So basically, it creates a diverse habitat types like tropical rainforests are there. We have deciduous forest, we have evergreen forest, semi-evergreen forest, alpine forest. We have snow covers, floodplain rivers, floodplains, river and grasslands, and many more like unique habitats like floating grasslands also are there in Northeast India. So this unique habitats, or you can say this extreme diversity in the habitats, actually harbors this diverse avian fauna in the area. So I was talking about the biogeographic realms. So you can see this. These are the 8 biogeographic realms in the world. So again, northeastern India has these two biogeographic realms, which is basically harbors the rich avian diversity. So basically, if I talk about the birds from the Himalayas, that is the Palearctic area. So the northeastern state of Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh are, they comprises the major part of the Palearctic areas of the northeastern India. So basically, this area is a home to around 700 species of birds, and several endemic birds are also there, like Bugun leochicla, Mishmi wren bubbler. And when I'm giving these two names, like Bugun leochicla and Mishmi wren bubblers, so basically these two birds are so restricted range that you will get them only one hill range. So if you move out of that hill range, the chances of sighting these two birds are also gone. So then also we have several charismatic species such as Himalayan monal, Scletus monal, wren babblers, snow partridges, Teming tragopan, beautiful nuthatch, Ward's trogon, wreath hornbill, rufous neck hornbill, Austin brown hornbill, etc. So I'll give you a glimpse of like the unique birds that we have here from the Palearctic. Beautiful sunbirds like the fire-tailed sunbird. Then we have cold teeth, rufous winged fulveta. We have Bhutan laughing thrush. So these are some of the key species that is found in the Palearctic areas. I have already shown you the Bougainvillea chicla. So these are some of the various birds that birdwatchers try hard to look for in this area. So this is the words progon. Then this is the Scletus monal. So Scletus monal also has a very restricted range that is found only in northeastern India, in the entire India. Then we have hornbills. So I'm giving you a glimpse of red hornbill here. And pheasants like blood pheasant found in this area, this part of India. So looking for the Indo-Malayan realm. So basically, when I was talking about the Palearctic and the Indo-Malayan realm, so I was saying that this Himalayas areas of the hill ranges of the Himalayas are quite new in terms of their origin. But if I compare the same with the Indo-Malayan hill ranges of the Indo-Malayan realms are quite older. That is why the speciation got a lot of time to many species evolved during that time, and that is how speciation happened, and many new species formed in this area. So I'll discuss that in the coming slides. So the part of northeastern India, majority of the part of the northeastern India falls in this biogeographic land. Like the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram, these are the Indian states which are part of Indo-Malayan realm. So the comparatively older hill ranges, along with the floodplains of Assam, is the home to around 850 species of birds, with several endemic birds. So endemic birds like thorny-breasted wren bubbler, which is only found in a small area in Meghalaya, in northeastern India. Then we have marsh bubbler, which is found in the plains of Assam floodplain. Then we have black-breasted parrotbill. So black-breasted parrotbill is also found in the grasslands of floodplains of Assam. Swamp francolin. So basically, swamp francolin is one of the species that I have spent 7 years studying them, how they survive in the non-protected grasslands or grasslands outside the protected areas. And we have several charismatic species such as white-winged duck, Bengal florican, gray hornbill, gray peacock pheasant. So these are some of the birds that people spend a lot of money to come and see. So when I was talking about this thorny-breasted wren bubbler, so basically this wren bubbler is also has a very restricted range area. So like while studying swamp francolin, so I was thinking, so like how swamp francolin survive in grasslands which get flooded. Like uh, if you may for many of you, when you hear the word flood, it may be uh, for you, it might be a very uncommon word, but for a person who resides in northeastern India, the word flood is very common. And like flood is a backbone of grasslands in northeastern India. So if you remove flood from here, the grasslands will die. So while going through all of this, so a question came to my mind. So how come swamp francolin survive in these grasslands which get inundated in water during the flood? So then our team was, so we surveyed all the several nesting grounds. So we surveyed their behaviors. So we found that they complete the nesting right before the flood happens. So there are certain such strategies that been adopted by swamp francolin so that they can survive in areas which get inundated during the flood. So black-breasted parrotbill is one of the very rare birds and it's a globally threatened bird and endemic to the grasslands of Assam. Then marsh babbler is again one of very skulker bird. It's very hard to find this bird, marsh babbler. This is also endemic to the grasslands of Assam. This is thorny-breasted wren babbler. So this bird is also endemic to the Meghalaya hills. And this is swamp francolin. So this is my photograph. So this is the bird I was talking about. This is also, though it is not restricted only to Northeast India, but this is majorly found in Northeastern India. So it is found in Ganges floodplain and also in Brahmaputra floodplain in Assam. So this bird I have studied for around 7 years. So you might have some queries. So we can discuss those queries later on about the bird. So these are some of the charismatic species from this area, like lesser cuckoo. So this is dark ram swift. So in a picture, I was showing you a waterfall from the Indo-Malayan realm. So this is the dark ram swift found near to the waterfalls in the Indo-Malayan realm. This is crested finchbill. Again, this bird is found in the mountains towards the south, that is in the Indo-Malayan realm, but you will not find this bird in the Himalayan area. Then, sorry, this is black-back dwarf kingfisher. So I have left mistakenly as a Bhutan laficus. So this is black-back dwarf kingfisher. So now coming to the reason why we have this diversity of birds. So when I was going through the temperature regime of India, so I could see that majority of the Indian peninsula, that is which is basically the tropical zone of India, has a mean temperature of around 24 degrees Celsius. It is like very warm area, very hot and hot area basically. But again, if you look at the higher, like in the northern areas of India, you will find again, it has three temperature zones, like the one which is less than 7, then 7 to 17 degrees Celsius, then 17 to 24 degrees Celsius. But if you look at northeastern India, this is the part of India which I'm referring to as northeastern India. So if you look at northeastern India, you will see that we have all the temperature regimes which is there in India. Like we have areas which is hot, humid. We have areas which are very cold. We have areas, so all the temperature regimes are there in northeastern India. Basically, this supports a wide range of species. So species those are found in hot and humid areas are also there, and along with the species which are only found in the high altitude snow peak forests, you will find those species also in this area. And also, while studying swamp francolin during my PhD, I understood something, that rain is an essential part of all the ecosystem parameters that is necessary for supporting species diversity in an area. So you can see Northeast India is again very wet. That means that we get plenty of rain. So we do not have much drier areas in northeastern India. So you can see these Arunachal, these higher northern areas. So you can see this is the northeastern India, northeastern part of India that I'm talking. So basically you can see this is the Himalayas area. So you can see this is also a very good well rain-fed area. We have the highest rain. We have the area where we receive the highest rainfall in the world. That is there in the Indo-Malayan realm. That is basically the place called Cherrapunji, which receives highest rainfall in the world. So basically that has a rainfall above 400 centimeters in a year. Okay, then we have like all the areas in northeastern India are well rain-fed. So basically rain and mean temperatures. So they play very well all together. and that supports a very good range of species diversity. And also, like while discussing about species diversity, so I was looking through the plateau system of India. So there are some major plateaus in India like Marwar Plateau, Malwa Plateau. So this is basically the peninsular India, and this is northeastern India. So we have something called the Shillong Plateau, or this is the Indo-Malayan area. So like how species diversity actually speciation happened here, how species evolved to form new species here. Basically, you can see in the next picture you will see that there is a gap of mountains over here. So in northeastern India, we have this Meghalaya plateau or the Shillong plateau. So basically, you can see there's a gap over here. And this gap here, there's a hill range called the Garo Hills. And here, the hill range called the Rajmahal Hills. So in biogeographic study, we call it the Garo Rajmahal Gap. So basically, due to this gap over here, so Himalayas is continuous from here this area, the Himalayas is continuous up till here. So the species which are there found in the Himalayas are basically all throughout they are commonly found. But the species which are found in this region of northeastern India, they are not found in other parts of India because these the species which are distributed over here, they could not move out of the area and their movement stopped in between these hills because of this plain gap. So as this gap formed, this gap is called as the Garo Rajmahal gap because this is called as the Garo Hills over here. So Garo Rajmahal gap, due to this Garo Rajmahal gap, species movement stopped. And because of this reduced species movement, whatever species were there here, they started occupying all the available niches which were there, all the available habitats. And after adapting to different resources, they adapted and they slowly evolved into new species. As I was mentioning, these hill ranges over here are quite older. That means that we have fossil records from these hill ranges, which are now these areas has a altitude of 2,500 meters to 3,500 meters. But with this altitude also, we get fossils of the animals from the ocean. So we can see that this area was once upon a time was under the ocean, but due to plate tectonic movement, this area arose and basically it forms the mountains. So that is why, as this area is quite older in comparison to Himalayas, so the species diversity or speciation could occur in this area. So, okay, so along with this biodiversity hotspots, biogeographic realms, so we host a lot of migratory birds. So I can say a heaven for the migrants. So the bird that you are seeing here, this is one of the very rare migrant in northeastern India. Can anyone name this bird? So it is not that it is only found in northeast India. It is even seen in other parts of the world also during non-migrant, like non-winters. Can anyone name this bird?
Bears pochard.
Yes. So that answer came from Assam only. So basically, this duck is called the bear's pochard. This is a critically, and this has been identified as a critically endangered bird by IUCN. So even birds, critically endangered birds like bear's pochards or birds like this bunting, yellow-breasted bunting, are also migrate to this part of northeastern India. So we have around more than 300 species of migratory birds. So basically, you can see it's a heaven packed with resources. Like there's a reason why we have so much of resources in northeastern India, and also why winter migrants come in good numbers to this area. So here you can see this is the aerial image or aerial picture of northeastern India. Here you can see a line over here. This is the major river of northeast India, which is called as the Brahmaputra. In Tibet or in China, it is called as the Sangpo River. And in India, it is called as the Brahmaputra River. So Brahmaputra River forms in the hills of Himalayas, and it flows all the way to Bay of Bengal. So basically, it flows through Northeast India, and it brings a lot of water, 19,830 cubic meters of water per second it brings to the river, and it is world's largest braided river. So by the term braided river means that it brings a lot of sediments along with its water and forms a lot of river and islands. And this Brahmaputra, the water from the Brahmaputra basically fills up all the wetlands that is found in the floodplains of Assam. And also, this Brahmaputra aid as a guiding tool for the migrants. So you can imagine the birds are flying over, like the Himalayas also act as a guiding tool for them, because this continuous mountain range is very good way to navigate. And after crossing the Himalaya belt, so they get the Brahmaputra river. So basically, the Brahmaputra river also act as a guiding line for them. So that is why most of the winter migratory birds congregates near to Brahmaputra. Most of the migratory birds, I'm talking. So I'm not saying that all the migratory birds, most of the migratory birds you will find always near to Brahmaputra. All the wetlands, which are near to Brahmaputra. So winter migratory birds are always found near to this line. All the major wetlands. So if I talk about major wetlands, here some of the major wetlands are there. In this area, there are some major wetlands. So this is Kaziranga here. So basically, this Brahmaputra feeds all the water requirements in the region. So this is one of my favorite birds, the longest voyager, the falcon from the Amur, or also known as the Amur falcon. So it's a beautiful bird. And in the entire world, so the Doyang Reservoir of Nagaland is known to be known to have highest aggregation of Amur falcons in the world. So I'll show you the picture where all the dots are Amur falcons. So here you can see this is a picture from the Doyang Reservoir. So these all are Amur falcons over here. All the dots are Amur falcons. So this is just, even there are photographs where you will not be able to identify that it's a bird. It looks like a simple dot. So it is being said that more than 1 million Amur falcons stop over at Northeast India every year as a part of their 22,000 kilometer year-round journey. So, there's a beautiful story about this Amur falcons. Basically, this is a migratory bird which does not get to see a winter in its life. So you might be wondering why I'm saying this. Amur falcons start their journey from Amur in southern Russia and also in Manchuria in China, so northern China. So basically, those are the areas where they do their nesting. So as the winter onsets in those areas, they start their migration towards southern Africa. So during the month of, you can say September, October, they starts their migration, and they stop over in Northeast India during the month of October and November. So their stopover is around for a month. And when they stop over here, they get packed up with fat and other necessary requirements for their upcoming journey, which will happen to Southern Africa. Now, during the winter, when they travel from Northeast India to Southern Africa, like in the Southern Hemisphere, winter is like the seasons are reversed. So when it is a winter in Northern Hemisphere, it's a summer in Southern Africa. So basically, they reaches Southern Africa in the spring. So they spend the spring in Southern Africa. As the spring is about to come in Northern Hemisphere, they start their travel back and they move all the way to Northern China, Amur, or Manchuria for completing their breeding. So basically, this is a kind of bird that never sees a winter in its life. So the Amur falcon males and females, they look different. This is the male, and this is the female. So coming to the threats to the avifauna of Northeast India. So we are not lacking behind, or we are walking hand in hand with all the rest of the world. Like whatever consequences of Anthropocene you are having in different parts of the world, we are also having, like global warming, human population explosion, pollution, habitat alteration, blah, blah. You name all the habitat threats, we all, like threats to avifauna, we have all of them here. But there are some more issues that is silently happening around us. That is basically in this part of India. intentional or unintentional killing. You might be wondering what I'm talking about, intentional or unintentional killing. Sometimes when bird watchers go to remote villages in hill states, they get to see pictures like that. So we feel sometimes heartbroken to see this kind of birds. This is a tragopan, this is a blood pheasant, male and female. So people, bird watchers pay a lot of fortune to see, get a glimpse of this bird. And not only about fortune, it's some for many birders, these birds are their dream birds, but they end up in shops or in someone's kitchen. But okay, so when I'm talking about this, you might be feeling very sad, or you might be getting angry about these villagers who are doing this. But also, we urban dwellers, like the city dwellers or the people from the cities, we are also not lacking behind. We are also responsible for mass killing of birds. Like this is an incident that happened in very near to a metropolitan city in Assam. So basically, people poisoned a carcass or a dead carrion or a dead animal to kill the carnivore animals. But this took a negative turn, but along with the carnivore animal, hundreds of vultures died after eating or after consuming carcass which was laced with poison. This is the incident that happened in 2022. 110 vultures died at the same time at the same place. Okay, so these are, so you might be not relating yourself to these things because these are being done by some villagers in some part of the world. But apart from all this, our day-to-day activities like pouring pesticide or using pesticides in our farms to feed more mouths, those mouths that is coming up to the world every day, we are using these chemicals which are also responsible for the mass killing or extinction of birds. Okay, so that is why uh, it's very hard for all the humans. It's very hard for living a day without harming nature. So that is why our footprint is very important. So before doing any activity, we need to analyze what our consequences are going to be, like how this is going to harm the birds or the environment. So something came to my mind. So while I was preparing the topic, can a casual bird watching save them? Many people, they may not be conservationists or they may not be biologists, but they are simply bird watchers. So many a times people ask me, so how we can contribute to bird saving the birds? So sometimes I say them, simply watch them. And along with watching the birds, you can contribute them to several platforms called as the citizen science platforms. Okay. Yes, casual birding also can save birds. You can see these two are some very important reports that was published in India. One, they are called as the State of India's Birds. First one was published in 2020, and second, the recent publication was done in 2023. And interestingly, the State of India's Bird report has assessed 942 Indian birds for conservation priority. And like 14 species, including Indian roller, recommended for IUCN Red List reassessment. Then 170 is classified as high conservation priority, 217 species stable or increasing in the last 8 years. These are some of the highlight finding of the report. And interestingly, all these highlights came from those 30,000 bird watchers. They contributed 30 million observations, which was used for analysis of this report. So you can, even if you are interested, you can go to State of India's, you can go to Google or any search engine, you can try find State of India's bird report. You will get this bird report, which has been analyzed from birdwatching data that was submitted to eBird. So along with just birding, if you submit those data to online platforms, then yes, birdwatching can save many birds. So there's a small video over here. So I just wanted to play. This is a 9-minute video just to give you a glimpse how birdwatching basically can save birds.
No matter where you are in India, you would most likely have seen a bird today. Wild birds are all around us.
Krishna, is the audio coming?
Yes, the audio is clear.
But how are they faring? Are they doing well? Or are they on the decline? In 2022, BirdLife International released its 5th edition of the State of the World's Birds report. The results paint a very grim picture. Currently, 49% of the world's bird species are in decline. 1 in every 8 species is threatened with extinction. And only 6% of species show signs of increase. North America alone has lost 2.9 billion individual birds since 1970. Europe has lost 600 million. World over, the figures are alarming. If the birds of the world are doing so badly, what is their status in India? India has over 1/10 of the world's bird species. Evaluating hundreds of bird species across a land area of over 3 million square kilometers is a huge challenge. Luckily, birdwatchers and enthusiasts in India have been contributing their observations to public database for several years. With access to over 30 million observations, a partnership of governmental and scientific institutions have created a status report on India's birds.
This report talks about the status of 942 Indian birds. All these observations were uploaded to eBird, which is an online platform. The report is largely based on the citizens' contributions, and it's impossible without the contribution of people power, and that's the beauty of citizen science.
The data obtained from citizen science efforts has been invaluable in assessing up-to-date abundance trends of Indian birds. These results are interesting, but also worrying. For example, our national bird, the Indian peafowl, is doing extremely well. It is one of the most rapidly increasing species in the country today. In the last 20 years, they have expanded up into the Himalayas and into the rainforests of the Western Ghats. It now occurs in every district in Kerala, a state where it was once extremely rare. Likewise, the Asian quail has nearly doubled over this time period and continues to show an increase. But other species are not faring as well. The Indian roller, a striking bird of open landscapes, is declining rapidly. Most duck species are also doing very badly.
So the state of India's birds is primarily determined through 3 indices. There's a long-term trend, which is a comparison of the trend today versus what it was before 2000. There's a current annual trend, which is a metric that looks at what the current status of the bird is. It may have declined or increased in the long term, but what is happening to it today? And this is an annual change over the last 7 years. Then the third metric is distribution range size. How much area in the country does it occupy? So the understanding here is that a species that is more restricted is of greater priority than a species that is more widespread.
Using these 3 indices, each species was classified into one of 3 categories of conservation priority for India. Each of these indices uses a set of parameters to determine status. For example, a species is considered as rapidly declining in the long term if it shows a decline of over 50%. Similarly, in the short term, if decline is over 2.7% annually, it is also considered as rapidly declining. A species is considered very restricted in its distribution if its range is less than 7,500 square kilometers, while its range is considered very large if it is more than 1 million square kilometers. This report also takes into account IUCN's categorizations when ascertaining the status of a species. Using all this, a priority list for conservation for the entire country has been created. Besides a countrywide list, the report also features a state and union territory-wise list of species that are of highest conservation priority. The report mentions the top 4 priority species for each of these areas. By scanning the QR code, one can access the full list for each area online. It also provides a wealth of details, including range maps. The report also features trends of species which have been combined based on shared ecology, habitat, diet, and behavior. When grouped based on habitat use, the trends seem to show that generalist species, those that can live in multiple habitat types, are doing very well. In contrast, however, habitat specialists are showing declines. Grassland species especially show the sharpest decline, which may reflect the fact that grasslands as a habitat are highly threatened. India's geographic placement makes it a critical stop for migratory birds. Many long-distance migrants spend winters in India, making it a crucial stop for sometimes entire populations of these species. Short-distance migrants, those species that migrate within India or exhibit altitudinal migration, are showing declines, but not as much as long-distance migrants. Keeping with the globally observed trends, birds that breed in the Arctic are showing severe declines. Data shows their numbers have gone down by close to 80% as a group. Grouping by diet also provides valuable insights. Birds that feed on fruit and nectar are doing well, maybe because these resources are readily available even in heavily modified rural and urban landscapes. On the other hand, raptors and vultures, birds that feed on vertebrates and carrion, have declined the most. Birds that feed on invertebrates, including insects, are declining rapidly. This observation is significant against the backdrop of plunging insect populations worldwide.
The second iteration of the State of India's Birds reports has a very strong section on policy, recommendations and implications for conservation. We find that 178 birds in India are of high conservation concern, and we give general recommendations on how this can be dealt with as a society. We also have important conservation research and policy implications in almost every other section of the report.
The State of India's Birds report also discusses in detail some of the major threats and suggests potential mitigation measures.
So overall, I think that
So there was a glimpse of basically what birdwatching can be done, what birdwatching can do if we do it properly. So basically, this report that has been that was been talked about in this video, the report is completely analyzed from the data that was generated or that was submitted to these online platforms. So that was all about research and findings. So what about the how you can implement this into reality, or how you can implement this to field. So you can see here, there is a picture of a village over here. And you can also see there's a picture over here, globally, home of Bougainvillea chikla. So this is the rarest bird I was talking about in Arunachal Pradesh. So basically, so when the researchers and conservationists went to this area, and ornithologist Dr. Ramana Atharya, whom we could meet in our last visit to Arunachal Pradesh. So when he was talking about how he convinced the local people about conservation of the species. So basically, he employed the youths, or he basically he taught the youths how to do bird watching and how to become a bird guide. And he also empowered local youths to take up bird guiding as a serious profession. And when that happened, so this local people also understood that, okay, this bird need to be saved, or this bird need to be conserved, so that and also along with that, the ornithologist who discovered the bird, he also got named the bird after their tribe, that is the Bugun tribe. So when the bird was named after the tribe, it got also an emotional connection with the local people. And that is how this local residents over here, they vacated this area They left this village and they moved all the way to a different village. And when they left this area was reoccupied by the forest, and it was completely now it's a green cover in this area. And that area is called the glowberry, which is the habitat for the critically endangered Pukun, Leochikla. And this is not one example from Arunachal Pradesh. There are other examples from Nagaland, the Konoma Green Village. So this is also one of the village where one earlier people used to hunt down birds, but now they have understood the importance of ecotourism. And now they have adapted to this different models of ecotourism, and now they do not do any kind of hunting. Rather, they protect birds, show them to people, earn every day. So bird watching can really save birds, not only by research, but also by giving practical implications or practical applications. So at We Foundation India, we are also trying to save birds. So specifically, we have started our own project, that is the Vulture Network, or the Vulture Conservation Project. So our project is called as the Bring Back the Vultures. But before initiating the project, so our team realized that the conservation of vulture is not a big rocket science. Rather, it needs involvement of a great community. So to start with a great community, so we started something called the TV and or the Vulture Network. So basically, I'll just go show you a glimpse of what Vulture Network is. Basically, Vulture Network is a network of individuals, a network of villages, a network of local educational institutions, a network of NGOs who are interested to work together to save the vultures. So we are creating that network under We Foundation India, and it's also a kind of a self-funded project. So as we are a very grassroots level organization, we also do sustainable tourism. So through our tourism initiative called the Destination Arrive. So in our tourism initiative, so whatever money we earn from the tourism, some amount of the money that goes towards vulture conservation through the Vulture Network. So basically, I'll just wanted to show you give you a glimpse of what Vulture Network is. So the Vulture Network is basically a network of different individuals, organizations. So you can see this website over here. Basically, this website will be used to share information about vultures, vulture mortalities, vulture nesting grounds, vulture nesting sites, and different vultures that is found in northeastern India or in India, like here you can see. So this website is actually under preparation or it's going through a lot of modifications. So we will have different tabs over here to translate this website entirely to a vernacular language or our local language. So those are basically we are trying in as a part of our projects, so the Vulture Network. And as I've already mentioned, what we do in Destination Arrived. This is the website, how it looks like. So it's a dedicated website only for the vultures, the Vulture Network. This will have all the information about vultures. So we are only looking for vultures over here in this project. So our priority species, that is the slenderbill vulture, which is found more like the biggest population of nesting slenderbill vultures are found in northeastern India. So we are now more concerned about this species because only 730 to 870 mature individuals of these vultures are left in the wild. And this is an overestimated number. We believe that this number is between 400 to 450, not more than that. So this website, again, as I was saying, this is going through a lot of modification. So we have just prepared a demo so that we can show it to our like the people who are ready to give us some funds for this project. So yeah, this is about the website. Yeah, going back to my presentation. Okay, so yeah, thank you for patiently hearing me out. So as happy winters for southerns and happy summers for the northerns, but happy birding for birders, because you be in the south or be in the north, birders always love to do one thing, that is birding. Thank you. You may have some questions. You can shoot those questions to me.
Anybody have any questions? Please unmute and we can have a little conversation. Please,
I have a couple of questions.
please identify yourself and ask the question.
So yeah, my name is Vishal Goswami. I am from Assam. So I've been birding for the last 3 years. So my question to Nilotpal Da is about the speciation, like you said. For example, some species which I consider remnant species, which are away from where they are found. For example, we know that rufous neck hornbill, it is found in the Himalayan deciduous forest, but
Yes.
a few couple of years back, it was also discovered in the Barai Range, which is below the Brahmaputra floodplain.
Yes.
So, but that habitat of Barai Range is quite different from the Himalayan place.
True.
So, how do the birds adapt, or is there any difficulty for the birds to adapt to this place compared to the natural habitat?
Okay, so talking about the specific bird that you were talking, the rufous neck hornbill. So you might have observed that the rufous neck hornbill are mostly, they are not very commonly found in coniferous forests like the needle leaf forest, like the pine forest I'm talking about. You'll always get them either in evergreen forest or semi-evergreen forest. Okay, so see, their sightings are, though their sighting was once found only in the Himalayas, so it does not mean that they are not found in the southern part of the Brahmaputra, because they are also found in areas in Namdapha, which is the southern part of Brahmaputra. So, and they are like huge birds, they can fly to longer distances. So I think the habitat of Bareil Range and habitat of the areas in Himalayas where it stays are mostly similar because they are fruit frugivorous birds. And when I was talking about speciation, like speciation like happens more in birds which are restricted to smaller areas, which do not fly to longer distances. Okay, so that is how metapopulation occurs and the species starts to adapt to new environments. So like what I'm saying is that like hornbills, so they have huge wings and they can fly to longer distances. If they're not getting a proper environment in an area, they will fly to some other area in search of the habitat. But for a small bird which cannot fly to longer distances, it will hardly go to some distances. And if it is not getting its proper habitat, it will start adapting. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. But there are some birds also which are not very long flyers. For example, we know that the Oriental bay owl is mostly south of the Brahmaputra plain, to south of Northeast India. But
Yes.
there are very sparse records above Brahmaputra plain also. Like I read that there was one paper published about Oriental bay owl being found in Champaran, Bihar also.
Yes.
And very like 2-3 sightings in Bhutan also, but they're like more than a decade old.
Okay.
So
So talking about this owls, even this bay owl. So bay owl is like now even in the southern part also bay owl has a sparse distribution. So it's not throughout you find it in all the forests. So it has a sparse distribution, I believe. It's in the chat box.
Yeah.
What's the best time for bird watching in Northeast India? Okay, so talking about best time, like it depends on what are the birds that you are looking for. So if you want to see the winter migrants, then definitely the winter is the best time. And if you're looking for summer migrants, then summer is the best time. But talking about the birds in the hills, so basically, spring would be the good time in the hills. But for the plains, like spring, winters are much better compared to spring in the plains. So if you are going to Arunachal for birding or into the mountains of Himalayas, then spring like March, April is a good time. And also, it's not like that winter is a bad time. Even you get different species, like for Himalayan bills, so species keeps on migrating to that we call it the altitudinal migrant. As the season changes, it migrates from higher altitude to lower altitude, and again from lower altitude to higher altitude. So in different time, you get different species. And for armor falcons, uh, it generally comes here in the month of November. But 2 years back, it happened that their arrival time shifted completely by 1 month, and they arrived Northeast India in the month of October. So mostly in the month of November, you get falcons here in Northeast India. There are places in Nagaland, there are places in Assam where you get them.
So I will ask you a question, if I may. You talked about how critical the floodplains are, especially the Brahmaputra floodplains. One issue of concern, and I'm not going to make this a political discussion, but you are well aware that the world's largest dam is going up upriver in Tibet, and China is implementing this project. Have there been any at all conversations on how the lower floodplains will be impacted by this project? And have there been any mitigation to avoid the disastrous effect it may have?
Okay. So going to that question, like the Brahmaputra we see here in Northeast India, it's not only one river that comes from Tibet, the Sangpo River, but also it forms by the conjugation of several other major rivers like Siang River, like the Lohit River, and also one river called the Subansiri. And there are many other small tributaries that form of the Brahmaputra. Now the thing is that yet till now here in Northeast India, not much debate or people are not getting that much concerned. But I really doubt, like I really am concerned because this is not something just to neglect of. Uh, we also like we need seasonal floods here. And if the amount of water reduces by some percent also, it might have the drastic impact because there are grassland species or there is not only about birds, even including many mammals, there are species which has a very narrow tolerance levels, or you can say they can survive in very narrow ranges of habitat requirements. So if small change happens in that narrow range, then big impacts can happen in terms of wildlife. But again, adding to that, Brahmaputra also has several other major rivers that brings a lot of water to the main river.
That is heartening to know. We have reached the 9 o'clock time, but I will request Dr. Mahantha to stay on if he can answer more questions. But before we continue, let me finish the conversation here in terms of offering my thanks to Dr. Mahantha. Thank you very much for making this possible. We from IFBR, some of us were fortunate enough to accompany him on a trip to the Eastern Himalayas in the February timeframe. We had a wonderful opportunity to see the birds. Birds were one thing, sharing his knowledge and deep understanding of the local area was another thing. And the third thing was his passion for the environment and all the things that he does. So I would like to thank him. He is very humble man. He did not tell you that he was one of the instrumental folks for starting the Vulture Network and getting it going, creating awareness of the local fauna and flora, and also taking the time to host people like us who travel from here on a tourism to go to the hills in the cold months of the year was a fantastic thing. So we really thoroughly enjoyed that. And I also, I'm speaking on behalf of the club, thank you very much for coming and taking the time to do this now. And we appreciate it. Please keep up the good work. I hope that we can stay in touch and we can work with you on some of these projects as we go forward. How, we don't know, but we will see what life brings us and how it will
find a way.
Yeah, we will find a way. That's wonderful. Thank you. For folks who are online and not members of IFPR, if you're interested in birding and if you're already a Rotarian, getting to know about the eclectic group of international birders is interesting to you, I strongly recommend that you consider becoming a member. We welcome all levels of members, so don't feel shy, from novice birders who are just starting out to casual backyard birders and to avid experienced birders. And my favorite line is to say every one of us is a birder, because who hasn't stopped and looked up into the trees to check out a bird as you're walking on the street and you hear a chirping in the trees? Okay, so all of us are birders. All this is going to do is to get you a little bit deeper into that hobby. If you are interested in previous talks in this series, please check the links to our videos. The sessions are posted online. You'll find them at ifbr.org. One of the future presentations is going to be from a team from Nel Sangers, who I saw just a moment back. She was online, and one of her colleagues, oh, there she is. So one of her teams is going to be presenting. I believe they're going to talk about the hawk migration studies. Feel free to unmute and please let us know, Nel, if you will.
Yes, I will do that. I'm director of the foundation of the Montague Harrier Foundation, and we are specialized in birds in crops fields, and especially in the birds who are have traveling abroad to breed and to survive. So they come from West Africa to the north of the Netherlands, and there they have a dangerous way to have the young ones in very intensive crop fields. So there we protect them. There are more species we protect, but special in the very intensive agriculture fields. But she will tell you about what we do special with the Montague Harrier. So that's from 3 months they are in the Netherlands, and they are traveling to mostly West Africa, but there's also, of course, a large from Siberia. They go to India. That's another population, but this is the West European population from Sweden, France. She will talk about the whole population in Western Europe. That's her specialization. She is an degree on this subject, and she will tell everything about that on the. So that's what you can expect, and she will she will write something about to have an explanation about her what she is going to tell you. And it's, of course, it's just a small part of it, but we will hope that you are enthusiastic about the work we do also when we travel to Morocco and to Senegal, where they also teach the students there with the University of Saint Louis, so that also in the countries where the birds have the stopovers and have a long time, that just the people from the country where they are very enthusiastic because we need everybody to protect these kinds of birds, but I think all birds.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Sangers. This is very good introduction, and I'm sure that you've got a lot of people's ears perked up, and we hope to see the folks online. Please mark your calendars. You will hear more from us, and plan on attending. So the benefits of joining are, these talks that we've had. The other thing is that we also have trips that we plan to different areas. The next trip that is coming up is to Madagascar next year. Eva Nordwell, who's online, coordinates these trips. And in addition to that, we also have a bird walk, which is a group of us go out for a walk. And this is centered around the Rotary International Convention. This convention happens in June every year in various different towns of the world. The last one was in Calgary. So one of the next talks that you'll see is from the folks that attended the Calgary Bird Walk, and they'll be talking about their birding experience in Calgary. The next trip, the next convention is in Taipei, and that is in June 2026. Okay, so like I said, you will have a talk in October. We are planning future talks on birding in Uganda, possibly. And then you'll hear about the Calgary Bird Walk, and so on and on. So there are several different things that we do. We're also starting a peer-to-peer chat on Facebook, which we call Bird Chat. And we hope that you will participate in that and share your birding experiences and your excitement in birding. So please watch for that also. That link also shortly to come up. Okay. Then what else do we have? So that's pretty much it. And thank you for attending. Now, if you will stay on, and if the host can stay on, we can continue our discussion with more questions from you folks. So please feel free to unmute and ask him questions. Or, if you have any ideas or things that you want to share, please do so. Julie, please go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you so much. So good to see you
Yeah.
again. It was a fantastic trip to India, and great to learn more about what you and your counterparts are doing to track and help the birds. So thank you so much. And good to see everyone who's here too. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Julie. I'm really thrilled to see you. Actually, the moment I saw your face in the screen, I was about to start the presentation. So personally, to thank you, you were one among the first ones to kickstart our project. So with your help, we could, with your help, we could print some of the brochures and to distribute them to local people over there for the Vulture program.
Great, great. That makes me feel really good. Thanks for letting me know.
And I'm really, I get always inspired by your energy and motivation in birding.
Don, were you going to say something, sir?
Oh, not really, Krishna, apart from I really did enjoy your talk, Dr. Mahantha. And I know very little about the birds of India. There are very few of them come to Australia or extend their range into Australia. There are a couple, but very, very few. So you have a different clientele to mine. I'd like to know how extensive is bird banding in India? Julie and I are both heavily involved in that in our respective areas, but just how extensive is it in India?
It's not that extensive because, to start a bird banding program, you need to get a permission from the central government authority. And to get that permission is a very, very tricky thing in India. You get a permit from the wildlife board, then then the permit goes to Ministry of Environment and Forest, then only you get it. And also banding is only, the permission is only with some of the few of the top organizations in India, like Salim Ali Center, like Wildlife Institute of India. These are the organizations which do it. So, but local or regional organizations, they do not get the permission to do bird ringing. It's not very extensive.
Okay. I think it's probably a big missed opportunity, but
yes. So we get a lot of migratory species during the winters. Our wetlands are full with birds. So we could definitely do it, but in some of the areas, only some organizations are doing it, but it's not very extensive.
Yeah, the Australian bird and bat banding scheme has been over the past few years establishing a similar process in Indonesia as a gift to the Indonesian researchers. I think the same thing happened out.
When can you go to India, Don?
I'd go anytime, Krishna. Anytime they'll let me fly, mate.
You're always welcome.
So the other thing that I wanted to kind of comment on is the notion of poisoning that inadvertently gets into the food chain. So you talked about the vultures perishing from the poison that they had put out there. We have exactly the same situation here in the Northeast United States with rat poison. So we do have problems with rodents. So domestic rodents have been poisoned with rat poison, and the hawks around this area have been consuming that. And what happens in a process is that it affects their reproducing capacity. So it has a pretty bad effect. And so there's a concerted effort right now to get rid of rat poison. But as you know, issues like this are very difficult to kind of implement, and it is a heavy lift to create the awareness and to get the buy-in from people to do. So whatever you're doing, we have the same issues here with these kind of things. So persevere on, keep on, and we're all in it together.
Yeah. And that is the sole reason behind the Vulture Network, why we started. we understood, like working with several organizations, that I understood one thing, that conserving raptors or the big birds or challenges, mitigating challenges like poisoning, it's not only one organization's job. It has to be a collaborative effort from a lot of people all together coming up to create a mass awareness among people. Otherwise, it will be very hard to do the task.
Yeah, yeah. So Eva and Bjorn, you know Dr. Mahant. If there's anything that you want to bring up, please do. And again, this is on our own time, so thank you for staying on. Feel free to unmute and talk, Eva, or go ahead.
No, not anything special. Just want to thank you for this presentation. And also, we really had a great time in India, so that was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. So you should consider joining us in Madagascar, I believe. Mahant, Dr. Mahant.
I would love to. I'd love to.
Yeah.
So when you are planning it?
It will be in November 26th, and it's already fully booked, but I'm sure there will be.
If I can hang somewhere and come.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. It's more of a 1 year ahead, and there might be some cancellations and so on. And we were also talking about, if the interest in really good and many are coming, we can do another trip as well. So
Okay.
we are really looking forward to that trip too.
Fantastic. Okay, Louise, you are a fairly new person. We haven't seen you online before. So if you would like to please unmute and introduce yourself, that'll be good.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I have been on a few other ones, but Louise Hoffmann, I live in North Platte, Nebraska, which is in the central part of the United States. We're our area is the home to the big sandhills crane migration.
I remember
So
now.
we always look very forward to that noisy time of year. We have hundreds of thousands of them, and the nice thing is that you can walk into almost any field along the Platte River and see them. So we're all very familiar with them. And we also have the prairie chickens who do a very interesting mating dance, and they are plentiful in our area. So I'm a baby birder. I'm just learning. But it's wonderful to see these presentations and to speak with all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just noticed that Don turned his background into something that you will recognize, Louise. Mr. Vishal Goswami, good to have you. Would you please unmute and go ahead and introduce yourself as well to us?
Hi, so I'm Vishal Goswami. I am from Numaligarh, Assam. I'm a chemical engineer.
Can you turn on your video? Would you be able to do that?
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Louise, those ones are in Alaska. So midsummer in Alaska.
Oh.
Just outside of no. Oh.
Aren't they amazing? Oh.
Go ahead, Mr. Goswami.
So yeah, I'm still at work, and I found some time to participate in your meeting because I have quite a couple of things to learn about birds. And so I'm involved in this hobby as a photographer, as a passion. But in the process of birding, I have gotten to know quite a lot about bird behavior and conservation. And I am proud that I am based out of Assam, and I am admiring the diversity of Northeast India. But at the same time, I am growing concerned by the minute because there's too much human activity, this and that. So particularly, basically, my trip to Nagaland 2-3 months back, there I had a lot to go through to get a glimpse of bright stragopan, and because the populations of that species had dwindled long back in Nagaland, now because of conservation drive, they are coming back, but it is still a rare sight compared to how easy it can be viewed in other parts of Arunachal, like Mishmi or eagle nest. Then I came to know that particular subspecies of blight stragopan, which is in Nagaland, Mizoram, that is on the verge of extinction actually. It is endangered. But overall, as a whole, the species is vulnerable, but that is endangered. So I believe that when we are striving for conservation, we should not look at the species in totality. We should also look at the subspecies also. Let us try to maintain the population of the subspecies in that area and do what is possible. Because I believe all subspecies of the bird are important.
Yes, indeed. The whole food chain there and the biodiversity there is important. They're all linked to each other. They're all very intricately linked to each other. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Adding to Vishal's thing on this subspecies thing. Basically, this subspecies are very important in terms like if one species is restricted only to a smaller area, if something happens to that particular population, and then the entire species is gone. That is why having subspecies or having subpopulations or having metapopulations in different areas is is a safe side or the safer side, so that the species remains for longer time in the nature, so it does not get very easily get extinct. That is what I wanted to meant. So you were saying something, Krishna.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that comment. I noticed Dr. Sangeetha Das, but she left before I could call her out. So would you please talk a little bit about her? I'm sure you know her well.
Okay, she's my wife.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't realize that.
Okay, so I don't know like why she left during towards the end. Basically, she's a arachnologist by her studies, but she has started birding with me. So just after completing your trip in Arunachal Pradesh, we both went to Arunachal again, just to see if we can see more birds in there. So by staying with me, like going to the forest with me, and by looking continuously towards the trees at the top canopies, she has like slowly forgotten to look that her interest species is down in the soil or in the lower canopies, the spiders. So now she a birdwatcher turning from arachnologist.
That's good. When they say that birds of a feather flock together. So it seems like that is slowly happening with you. And that's very good. Now you also start to meet her halfway and look down at the spiders. The arachnids are just as important for the food chain.
True, very true. So I was kidding back then. So basically we are doing the same thing. So like I was an arachnophobic person. So I do not have arachnophobia anymore now. No doubtly I don't handle this ones, arachnids. But again, going back to one concern. So if you allow me to share a screen once. So I just this picture. Can you see this picture?
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not getting bigger, but you can see this picture over here.
Yeah.
So once upon a time, this was the situation in Nagaland. Every day, more than 10,000 Amur falcons were killed every day. So every year, like they do stop over for a month in that area. So you can imagine the number of Amur falcons being killed every year. But by introducing this locus with the hobbies like bird watching, and by taking strict actions, now from last 10 years, this killing of Amur falcon has completely stopped. So that these are some of the positive news that we get to hear. So this is the Amur falcon roosting sites over there in Nagaland. So I was like really worried once upon a time about Amur falcons, but now that worry is vanishing. But still, the hunting is, to some extent, hunting is still going on. But if hunting is not there, then other problems are also there. So that is, and also, many people have asked me like why they do this one. They migrate only during that particular month. They know it very well, and this is their prime target. So they feed on these termites. Okay, so during that month of the year, So these termites, they gets this wings, and basically the wing termites. So their purpose of getting the wing is to disperse their population to newer areas. So only during that particular month they get these wings, and this is their prime food in Nagaland. So where they do the stopover, they come here, they feed on this for a month, and then they go to Southern Africa.
Yeah. The fortunate thing for Amur falcons especially is because they are heavily migratory birds and they don't stay in one geographic area. They are not very good for falconry. So that's a good thing for them. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Anybody have any last comments before we call it quits? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Dr. Mahantha, for being around, and wonderful talk. Take care. We'll be in touch.
And thank you for running this again, Krishna. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Good to see you all.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Good to see you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.